Then comes the indications of long-term oxygen therapy, that is the supplemental 16 hours per day. What are the indications? If the patient is having arterial hypoxemia, like partial pressure of oxygen less than 55 millimeter mercury, or saturation is less than 88, or partial pressure of oxygen is more than 55 and less than 60, along with patient is having signs of any right heart failure, or patient is having hematocrit more than 55, so we recommend them supplemental oxygen to keep the saturation more than 90%. We have to recheck the patient in 60 to 90 days in order to assess if he needs the supplemental oxygen still, and if it is effective or not. If he doesn't need, we can de-escalate it. If he needs more, we can increase the requirement. Then non-invasive ventilation. What are the indications of non-invasive ventilations? Like it can be respiratory acidosis, in which partial pressure of carbon dioxide is more than 6 kPa or 45 millimeter of mercury, and arterial pH is less than and equal to 7.3. There can be severe dyspnea with clinical signs suggestive of respiratory muscle fatigue, increased work of breathing, or any use of accessory muscles. There is persistent hypoxemia despite supplemental oxygen. Patient is GCS should be more than 8. For invasive ventilation, if patient is hemodynamically unstable, if GCS is less than 8, he is confused, lethargic, he is unable to tolerate the non-invasive ventilation, he is having excessive amount of secretions and he is unable to remove them, if patient is post-respiratory or cardiac arrest, and if pH is persistently 7.25 along with hypoxemia despite the non-invasive ventilation and supplemental oxygen, then we proceed with the invasive ventilation for COPD. Then what are the surgical and interventional therapies for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease? That can be bulectomy, then can be endoscopic lung volume reduction surgeries in which there are the reduction coils, then there is vapor ablation. If no response with these two, then we go for lung transplant. And for lung transplant, patient should be having pulmonary hypertension if the board index is 7 to 10 and patient is not fulfilling not in the category of bulectomy and lung volume reduction surgery, then we go for lung transplant. So this is according to the symptoms and the disease. Like if the patient is having chronic mucus production and he is having labeled as chronic bronchitis, we go for either rheoplasty or the nitrogen cryospray. If patient is having exacerbations like acute and chronic bronchitis, bulla, emphysema, or tracheobronchomalacia, then we go for lung denervation. And if patient is having only dyspnea due to bulla formation, due to emphysema, then we go for either bulectomy, then endobronchial coils, then vapor ablation, lung volume reduction surgeries, then ultimately lung transplant. COPD is ultimately, if for prolonged time and if the risk factors are not being removed, it can lead to CA lung, as you already know. So there are certain factors which can lead to CA lung, like if the patient is more than 55 years of age, he is having smoking history of 30 pack years, and there is presence of emphysema on CT, if the airflow limitation is persistently at less than 0.7, if BMI less than 25, and there is history of lung cancer in the family. So patient is prone to carcinoma lung. So that's all for today. Thank you.